Hello, everybody. Happy 6/6 portal. I hope everybody is hanging in there, doing all right. At the very least, making it through. Been an interesting couple of days for me, couple weeks. Honestly, it's been an interesting year, but yeah, still here. So this topic today that I've been guided to speak on is about letting go. And I need to share a very personal experience that happened a couple of weeks ago. So I have this friend, and she was like family. I called her my sister from another mister. We became friends when I was 18. I'm 45 now. We've been very close. And then there's been times where we split apart, come back together, split apart, come back together. And then I think the most recent period of time where we didn't speak was like about 10 years. And recently I reached out to her, found her, and have been communicating. And this was like sometime last year. I think I might have reached out at the beginning of last year, and then I finally heard back, I don't know, a few months later. And so I guess to summarize it, it became clear to me that I thought we were on different paths, but actually she worded that better, is that we're on the same path, but at different places in our journey. And I was having some difficulty, like we would talk about having a phone call and it just would never happen. And I was getting a little frustrated, and I'm like, how hard is it to have a phone call? So I tuned in on meditation, and I'm like, what is going on with this? I even offered, some energy work and whatnot, and I wasn't hearing anything back about that. And anyway, so I tuned in meditation, and what I received, to my surprise, honestly, from my oversoul was, dear one, this soul contract is over. It's been over. And that's the reason why we're not connecting like we were trying to or talking about. And I realized that not only, it wasn't just about her energy, her affecting my energy, but I was also affecting hers, and not in a positive way. And it was just mismatched. And so I was going through some stuff, and I needed some time to just clear my mind and not have a lot, I essentially went radio silent, and I told her that. And anyway, more recent, that was like in January this past year. And so when I came back, she reached out to me again, and I knew that the soul contract was over. I guess some part of me was hoping that it would just fizzle out, right? But it didn't. She reached out again, and I didn't know. I handled it the best way I knew how, and I was just honest. I was my authentic self. I spoke my truth, and I said exactly what it was. That, I love you dearly, but I gotta let you go. I have to let you go. That was the short of it. It was kind, it was loving, but it was honest. And I didn't hear back for a few days, but then I did. I got a response from her, and it was the most kind and compassionate and understanding, very well thought out response I think I probably ever received from somebody. And she understood. And she understood why. She understood where I was coming from, and she understood, and it made her very sad. And I'll probably get a little emotional. But after I read that message, I just started sobbing, like uncontrollably sobbing. And I felt like something had been just ripped out of me in my solar plexus. Like I felt like somebody, just like when you lose a family member, like that has crossed over to the other side. A similar feeling when my beloved cat passed, when my brother passed, but I wasn't on my spiritual journey at that time. And so I just knew pain, grief and pain, grief and pain. And that's what I knew. And this time when it was, I literally felt her pulled out of my solar plexus. And it was at that moment that I realized just how much space I had been holding for her for so long, even when we weren't in touch. And even though I had cut it off even a few days earlier, it wasn't complete. The cutting of that cord and that soul contract wasn't complete until I received her response. And I could not believe, I felt gutted. I had just had this carved out empty space in my solar plexus that she used to fill. And I realized that this wasn't a bad, this was a positive thing. I talk a lot about making space for things that are more aligned. That when we let go of something, we're making space for something more aligned with our frequency, our vibration. And a lot of times sometimes it's people, and it's hard to do that, right? And I know for a fact that this is true because I have experiences with jobs. I've seen the effect of letting go of jobs that were no longer serving my highest good. And when I let go of those jobs before having something else lined up, I was presented with something better. And it's not always immediate, but it's in divine timing. And so this being a very personal relationship, I sobbed uncontrollably. It was a release. It was a grieving, a death of sorts. But I knew what was happening. I knew that space was being cleared to make room for something new, something more aligned. But to feel it, like just instantly happen like that, and to recognize, I even grieved over the simple fact that knowing that I had been holding all that space. I didn't know. I had no idea that I was holding that space for her all this time. And when I let go, that space was cleared. And I don't know if it was it was either that night or the next night. I had a very weird dream experience where I heard my name yelled twice very loudly to where I woke up. And then I felt this intense heart. It wasn't panic. I felt very calm, but my heart was doing something like somersaults in my chest, pounding very strongly in a really weird, erratic But I wasn't worried. I didn't feel like it was, I later found out it was an activation that I was receiving, and I needed to be awake for the activation to complete. And it was a Arcturian activation, apparently. So that happened either that night or the night after, and they said it was a direct result of me making that space. I would not have received that activation had that space not been cleared. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen with everybody. That's just my experience and what happened with me. So what Spirit wants me to ask you, what do you need to let go of? What might you be holding on to that it's time to set free? Is it a job that's no longer serving your highest good, that does nothing but cause you stress? Is it a relationship, be it intimate or close friend? Someone that maybe you're holding space for, and you have been holding space for this and for so long, like I was for my friend, and it's time to let them go. Are you holding on to an identity that no longer serves your highest good, or maybe never served your highest good? An identity that does not reflect your divine truth. Are you holding on to an outcome, some expectation that you need to let go of? And maybe right now you're like, nope, there's nothing I need to let go of. But take some time in meditation next time and just tune in and ask your team, ask your highest self, is there anything in my life that I'm holding on to that is no longer serving my highest good that I need to let go of? And if so, please show that to me. And be open to anything. And I mean anything. Like I said, some people may have said, oh, it was so obvious. That makes sense that you were holding space for this person. To me, it was not. Not at all. And not only that it was so, that the space I was holding was so embedded into my body, into my being, that when it cleared, it was devastation, grief, sobbing. Very unexpected. And I know in my heart that also she has made space within her body, within her energy field, for something more aligned to come in for her. So, that is the end of the message for today. If anybody is looking for some additional support, I'll put in the description. I do offer individual sessions and events for adults, individual sessions for adults and children, and then also monthly Galactic Gathering events. So I'll put those links in the bottom of in the description. And all right, much love, everybody. Take care.